it's beyond solar at this point. It is about that integrated solution. So now next question for you, Fredrik, and I'm going to combine the next question with the second one because Stefan has already touched on it. So basically, what does a truly integrated solution look like today? And then with answering that, also how important have financing and project support in the sense of what we offer at IBC became in helping customers and offering that integrated solution?
So the first question really is, if I just focus on commercial, so truly integrated means, in my view, a fully monitored and controlled solution. And that is managed by, if not an asset manager, an independent third party, or by a competent and qualified person within that organization who owns that asset. Because without that sort of skill set, then you can never prove the savings that you've earned. So an integrated solution is monitoring, it's metering, it's storage, it's solar, it's tied in with a genset perhaps, it's various other controls. And integrating means that it's part of your manufacturing envelope, if I can call it that, in your factory, or it's in your retail store, your hospitality, if it's a hotel or a B&B. It doesn't stand apart anymore. It's part of your utility setup. Yeah. So that's what integrated really means. And I think that's a critical first thing, but it's really about that control. And I think we're going to talk about monitoring later, but that's a critical element of integration, is to be able to justify the expense, because if it's managed by a third party, let's say it's financed. So that financing company is going to own that asset, and they're going to be invoicing you. And if you have a claim against them, you're saying, well, the lights went off, or this didn't work, and my municipal bill went up, but you said that you're supplying me with power. How do you prove your savings? How do you prove what's happened when you've got a winter rate, and then there's a different sliding scale, and your municipality or ESCOM changes their tariff structure? And so just saying that, no, the solar produces, it's producing 500 kilowatts, on a nice sunny day, well, that means nothing to the client. A fully integrated means it's monitored, it's controlled by a third party or by a competent person internally with contestable data, and to be able to demonstrate, no, you've saved money, and we can quantify it. So that's how I see the future. I think that was the first question. The second one was more to? Financing project, yeah. And that's where the financing links, because typically funded projects are owned by a third party. And in any funded project, now when I talk about funding, I'm talking about PPAs, or lease agreements, where it's a financial lease, not an operational lease, where the asset is owned by someone else and the end user gets a benefit of energy. So that owner of the asset typically warrants the power that they're going to supply. So they guarantee it. And that guarantee means that they have to monitor that system. So that's where the influence of financing comes into a fully integrated system, which was never the case 5 years ago, I would think. Even then, PPAs were hardly relevant until probably about 5 years ago. Of course, they've been around for some time. It was called something else before. It was called a build, own, operate. It was called a lease, an energy lease. It was called this. Now we've got PPA, power purchase agreements, lots of acronyms, basically the same thing. There's someone with money that's prepared to invest in this asset and sell you electricity, however it's structured. But that's the integration, coupled with financing, means competent third parties have to monitor that system. And to be honest, the end user shouldn't have to worry about this, with all due respect, because it's not their core competency. It should be left up to professionals to look after it on their behalf at the end of the day.
Okay, so you've mentioned earlier the importance of control and being able to see that cost saving. And energy management has evolved quite over the years. What are customers expecting today from inverter and control systems that I haven't really expected in the past?
Yeah, we see many trends, but we do see a slightly new trend which kind of aligns with what we're doing, and it's more of a smart energy management. People they're more aware of what's happening, where they're using energy. Can I use my energy over here, or can I control that? And with the base utility costs rising, they can see that the existing solar system is not going to meet. There's not going to be a payback or return on investment. So now they want to look at how we can control the energy or prevent curtailment of our solar energy that's available. So we see a trend in that. It's not a major trend, but we do see activity in that, and that's what I hear from a lot of people, and we're trying to urge the market more. But yeah, that's very exciting moving forward, to see people being more aware of how they're using energy, and knowing that we're wasting energy here, and that's going to affect my return on investment and everything else. So the whole financial thing, like Stefan says, people are just thinking in a different way.
Yeah.
And you have artificial intelligence. You can just ask it and say, I've got this and that, and I've got this problem. It will tell you what the problem is. So people are getting smarter, and they're using smarter ways to enable themselves. So yeah, we need to try and stay ahead of the curve and offer them those solutions and be ready for them.
Yeah. Basically answered my next question now about how energy management will evolve over the next 5 years. Basically, AI will come into a big play then. I know Victron is introducing updates frequently.
Yeah, I'm very lucky. I'm in contact with all my colleagues around the world, and if you look at the European market, Fred was talking about what's happening there. But the war, and Stefan spoke about it as well, everybody's looking at green energy. And the residential energy storage in Europe is exploding. So everybody wants exactly. They don't have the grid infrastructure. There's a gas shortage. The grid infrastructure can't supply them extra energy. There's just no watts in the plug. So there's a big demand there, and I see that'll affect our market as well from a supply point of view. But yeah, everybody's going for smarter automation, controlling the energy, preventing curtailment, moving loads around. Yeah, everybody, we need to, like you mentioned, we need to be ahead of our customers. They know more than us in most cases. Yeah, sometimes. But yeah, that's the kind of trends that we see. Yeah, it's exciting.
So yeah, thank you for that. So we've mentioned storage solutions throughout now and in the conversation so far. So Riska battery storage has shifted from being purely backup focused to becoming a key operational component within the business. So what would you say storage, the role that storage is playing currently in commercial optimization?
Yeah, thank you, Zané. I think everyone touched a bit on storage. I mean, that is definitely where the market is going. I think from a storage perspective, there are several benefits to implementing storage, and I don't think anymore the discussion is around it being a benefit, but it's essentially mandatory. Andre was mentioning now that, especially in Europe, he's seeing that they don't necessarily have the grid capacity, and then that's also where storage comes in to stabilize the grid. And then, of course, from a technological standpoint, us at SolarMD, we design, manufacture our own batteries, but there's also the energy management system that we also have that you get along with our batteries that has also been designed in-house. And we have various features, which, of course, from peak shaving to energy arbitrage, which is quite vital. So from a peak shaving perspective, when the cost of electricity is high, you can discharge your batteries. And you can also decide when it's best to optimize your energy storage. And then also in terms of artificial intelligence and where battery storage and the technology is going, we are also trying to automate a lot of those features. So based on historical data, how can we optimize that system so that you can get the best out of your battery energy storage system? So all of those features are critical, obviously, for grid stability, but then secondly, for cost savings. So in order to essentially get the most out of your PV system, a battery is a non-negotiable now. So that is definitely where energy storage has been going. I mean, you are now seeing a 20% return on investment, essentially, in a very short amount of time, compared to what it was like a couple of years ago. And it's because of the critical component of having storage.